One of the major challenges when you have a premature baby was feeling like a real parent. You know, the first time, nothing can prepare you when you see your child or children hooked up to all the wires and on high-frequency ventilation, oscillators. You just don't feel like a real mom or a real parent. You can't hold them and cuddle them or breastfeed them or any of the normal things that you hope to do or would expect to do.
Could we have been a little more prepared? Probably. Could we have had more information available to us? Absolutely. We were handed decisions that I hope most parents never have to make. We based it on what was in our hearts and what we heard. And what was in our hearts was hope. And what we heard was terror.
Well, my son was born at 25 weeks gestation. He spent 7 months in the hospital.
My oldest two were born at 26 weeks gestation. Unfortunately, Noah passed away on day 13.
My son Ben was very sick. He had 2 clots lungs, fluid, so they needed to place drainage tubes for each lung.
So I have 7-year-old twins that were 25 weeks gestation, so they were 15 weeks premature.
Ryan was born at 25 weeks. He was in the hospital for quite a long time. He was there for 5 months. My second child was born at 32 weeks, and this is probably the biggest issue for Canada and prematurity, and is the children born, and this is where all the children are being born, in the age of 32 to 37, and they tend not to be as sick, but they do have issues.
Je suis la mère de 3 enfants. J'ai 2 garçons qui sont nés prématurément, qui ont aujourd'hui 22 ans et presque 20 ans.
They were identical twins. They had a condition called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, and that is where one twin is receiving more of the nutrients than the other twin. And so there's an interuterine growth discordance.
I have Luke, who is 12, and he was born premature at 29 weeks.
I've delivered 2 babies, both born prematurely. My first was born at 24 weeks, and after 27 hours with him, we had to lovingly let him go. Our second baby boy is Julian, and after a long hospitalized bed rest, he was born at 32 weeks.
Jacob is considered by Alberta Health Services to be terminally ill.
I'm the mother of premature twins, born in 2008 at 27 weeks.
They're twin girls, and we had complications due to twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. So they were born at 28 weeks.
The twins were delivered 2 minutes apart, and they were in the intensive care for 140 days.
It's a stressful environment. In the first few weeks, it was there were numerous situations of whether he was going to make it or not.
He has had over 30 invasive surgical interventions. Medical history includes over 30 diagnoses, depending on which part of his body we're talking about.
Glenn is stage 2 renal failure. Natasha has since been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. It's very severe. She's tube-fed, G-tube-fed.
I thought I was going to give birth to a baby that wasn't viable, so I had no idea. And I didn't say anything because I was too afraid to ask the question, and nobody said anything to me.
I found that there was very little information about prematurity, how to deal with some of the feelings that I had after birth, and some of the long-term consequences of prematurity. I would like to change that. The purpose of Canadian Premature Babies Foundation is to prevent premature birth through research and education, to support the best standards of care for premature babies, and also to be a national voice for premature babies and their families.
Foundations have the collective power and wisdom and experience that we could advocate for education and research and policy change.
One of my big goals too at the foundation is that we take it national. We do it for all babies across Canada, and that we also bring in the voice of staff.
I think if the foundation had been in existence when our girls were born and in the hospital, it would have changed many things. It would have changed many of my perceptions. It would have, it probably would have helped me understand why this was happening. It probably would have made me feel like I had nothing to do with it, because I accepted, I felt very guilty, like something I did.
I think it's better to let women know this is a possibility. If you're at this many weeks, these are the risks, this is the chance of survival. If you're at this many weeks, it's fine. I mean, anything before 37 weeks is considered premature, but nobody knows what that means. So.
I think if we can work cohesively and collaboratively, we can get a lot done in amazing ways across the country.
Les enfants prématurés, comme tous les humains, ont le droit à leur chance et que malgré un pronostic sombre, il ne faut pas perdre espoir.
Don't give up hope. These babies can grow up to be anybody.
Persevere. Be relentless. Take that unabashed love that's inside you and run with it. Run with it.
This is your child's path in life, and this is their beginning. It doesn't take anything away from the person that they are. It enhances the person that they become.
You cannot be fearful and just celebrate no matter what. A life is a life.